Welcome gardeners, Lindsay here with the Mindful Living Movement, and today I am coming at you from my grow room. Now, with the popularity of indoor growing, I thought it was important to share things that you really need to be on top of when it comes to growing in a really enclosed space. So whether you have an indoor grow room or whether you're growing in a greenhouse, there are some very specific things that you need to be on top of because things can go wrong. And I'm going to share with you a pretty big failure that I had this winter, and sort of where I think I went wrong and sort of why it's kind of the classic thing that does typically go wrong when you're growing in an enclosed environment. Now, as I mentioned, this is my first winter with like a full room dedicated to growing, and it's been the best thing ever, honestly. And sometimes they get painted as that, as, you know, it's like this panacea for all your gardening woes. As soon as you have this fancy room and you've got shelves and you've got all the lights and you've got the things, everything's just going to grow without any care or attention. And that's not the case. So what happens when you grow in an enclosed environment, and this can happen a lot in those little plastic pop-up greenhouse type things that you can get. There's no ventilation, there's nothing besides usually the door that opens on those guys, and those are what I move my stuff out into from here, you know, getting them ready for the outside world. And when you have a really enclosed space like that, you need to be on top of your temperature, you need to be on top of your humidity, and you need to be on top of the airflow that's moving through there. And the reasoning for this is, one, like when the sun hits your greenhouse, any greenhouse really, your temperatures are going to absolutely skyrocket. The ideal temperatures for a grow room greenhouse is in like the 18 to 24 range. And if you actually stick a temperature, thermometer in your greenhouse, you're going to find out that as soon as the sun hits those things, even here with this being enclosed and as soon as the furnace comes on, it can get warm in here really quickly. So you really have to be on top of it. I have this is one of the sensors that I have for a hygrometer or thermometer thing that I have. It's got a central thing that I can watch from my kitchen, so I always know what's going on. The second thing is humidity. The more plants you get growing in a space, the more transpiration, the more water sitting in trays, the more soil that's moist, you are just going to have increased humidity levels. So you do need to really know where that's at. And again, getting yourself something that's going to tell you exactly is a really, really important tool to use. And then the second thing is airflow. So in a greenhouse, can you open up vents to get, wind moving through? Do you need to open the door completely all day long, or is it just there's no air movement at all and you need to maybe pull your trays out and lay them on the ground? When you're growing in a space like this, I've got this big tower fan sitting here, and I've also got some little clip-on fans that are just kind of getting into corners and stuff like that, this fan kind of wouldn't really get to unless I cranked it right up, and I don't want to destroy my plants. I just want to get them ready for the outside world. So where did I go wrong? Now, I got a little cocky, I'll be honest with that, and I was watching my temperatures, I was watching my humidity, everything was going perfectly, exactly how I wanted it to, and I had decided to actually turn off, I've got a little, sort of one of those radiator space heaters in here. I turned it off because what I was finding is that the furnace, when it would come on, it would warm this room up quite a lot, and I didn't think that I actually needed to be running this thing. But my temperatures were dropping down a little bit too low at night. There was a couple mornings where I woke up and this room was at about like 15, 16 degrees, which is not ideal. It's just a little bit too cool for like heat-loving plants like tomatoes and stuff like that. And another thing is that when you have like a higher humidity, and then your temperature drops, again, that's sort of like a recipe for fungal diseases to happen. And I didn't have enough fans going. So I had my one fan just going on like a really low setting just to keep air movement, but I didn't have it going very well, and I didn't have my little sort of clip-on fans working. And so what has happened is my tomatoes, I'm probably not going to lose all of them. I had some sort of on two different areas, but I lost a significant amount of plants because either fusarium wilt or verticillium wilt, it's hard time identifying which is which, but it has settled in. And once you had it once, and many years back, I was growing down in my basement without being able to control the temperature, and the same thing happened. And so as soon as I saw what was happening and I kind of went through all my plants, I was like, okay, and you just have to toss them. It's very contagious, and so thankfully I didn't have it touching a bunch of other plants. It was kind of on its own, so that whole tray got tossed, all the containers got sterilized with bleach. I've got my little alcohol thing, went through, I've sprayed all the things down. When something goes wrong in a space like this, it's very easy for it to just like take over a lot of things. So that was something I was really worried about. And where I think specifically that I went wrong, beyond just letting my temperature drop too cool at night, was again the fan not working very well. But I also got myself a little handheld sprayer thing that's actually connected to a cold water tap that we have, and that cold water watering the plants, I don't have any way to adjust the temperature, and it's pretty cold in the winter time, so I knew that might be a problem for some of the heat loving plants. But that in conjunction with the sprayer sort of being a little bit mistier, there was a lot of, I think, mist getting up onto the tomato plants as well. So it was sort of like a recipe for disaster, really. I was not being as cautious as I should have been. And so between the sprayer getting moisture onto the plants, the water being pretty cold, the temperature dropping at night, and just overall like humidity levels, obviously in a growing space being on the higher side, not enough airflow, it was like the perfect trifecta of basically asking for disease to come into my tomato plants. So it's sad, it's not fun whenever we see things going wrong with our plants. We kind of sometimes go into denial, but just don't. Just if you see something that's very clearly not how it's supposed to be, make the hard decision, get rid of it, because all of your other plants you might still be able to save. And I'm fingers crossed, I haven't seen it continue on to anything else. I think I'm probably all right. And fortunately, you know, there are lots of local greenhouses that I can go and support with my business and buy, you know, a few more tomato plants to get things going. But I did want to just share this with you because it seems fabulous, and when people are posting pictures of all the things going right in their greenhouse or their growing space, but there's a lot of little things that can go wrong. You know, temperature, humidity, airflow, like there's just like this perfect little triangle that you have to work really hard to keep everything within. And so some of the things that I do to manage that is obviously lots of fans. I've got my little thermometer thing so that I know where I'm at, because if you don't know where you're at, how are you going to adjust anything? And I do also, I've started leaving the door to this room just kind of open a crack a little bit, just to help sort of ventilate a little more airflow through it, fresh air. And I do run a dehumidifier as well, just to make sure that everything is sort of staying in that happy little space. And these are all things that I've known for many years, but I just got a little lazy, got a little cocky, everything was going well, so I sort of let go of some of, you know, my cardinal rules, so to speak. And this is hopefully my lesson that you can also learn from, that don't let your guard down, because things will go wrong, and your beautiful plants that you've worked really hard on, they can get sad very quickly. So do your best, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, or if you had a similar experience like this, share it in the comments, because I know I'm not alone, and I know that I've talked to other gardeners that have also experienced a similar situation. And particularly when we're dealing with plants that are prone to fungal diseases, that's probably like the number one thing that is likely to go wrong in an enclosed growing space. So you really, really, really need to be on top of those things. Thank you so much for sticking around, gardeners. And if you like this video, if you want more of this, please subscribe, hit the like button. It helps out immensely for other growers on the platform to get to know this space as well. Hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and we'll see you again soon.